What up, though, y'all? This is day 8 of me subbing in Detroit. And today might have been my craziest day, bro. Like, craziest day by far. And I did 3rd grade, so I want y'all to take a mental note and mind y'all that, like, everything that I'm about to tell y'all in this story time today is from 8-year-olds, 3rd graders. Like, it's 8-year-olds saying these things that I'm about to tell y'all, bro. So, I get to the school, woody woo, like, you feel me? I get to school early. I'm in the hood, and like I told y'all, bro, I'm from the trenches, though. So, like, no amount of kids being bad or, like, what they think they're gonna do is gonna, like, deter me away from, like, you know, focusing on helping the kids get a better education or being here for the kids. But they tell me, like, straight up front, though, like, this is one of the worst classes ever. Like, they done scared away 4-5 subs. Like, you feel me? Nobody ever wants to come back. Like, everybody that come, they never come back. Like, the kids is so crazy. Mind you, it's only 11 kids. It's 10 black kids, 1 white girl. It's imperative to the story because the white girl get the tripping. So, first incident, boom, white girl calls one of the students blackity black for no reason. So, like, the little boy interject and he go, "Shut up, white girl." Like, he already on that. Like, he get on that with her. And he like, you know, like, you feel me? Like, you better be careful is what he tell her. And she like, what? Like, you know, who you talking to? So she doing the typical, like, white thing, like, what works for them. She get the yapping. He already told her, you better be careful. He's not doing too much talking. Now, I want y'all to know, this boy could eventually be a Division I athlete. We need to channel his speed and strength into, like, a whole another thing, because he proceeds to hurry up and pick up a chair swiftly. Now, I want y'all to know, it's not like I'm not monitoring these kids, bro. I'm pretty fast myself. But he proceeds to pick up a chair, hurry up, clock her with the chair. Boom. That's incident 1. Incident number 2, I let the white girl and another young lady go to the bathroom because they tell me, they like let you know you supposed to send them to the bathroom in tools, because like they get on that, somebody get busy, somebody get to doing everything they're not supposed to do. So you're supposed to send them in tools. So I send them in tools, but they gone for a minute. So about 10 minutes go by and another teacher busts into my classroom and like, hey, I'm like, yo, girls are in the bathroom fighting each other. And when I get there, they really bucking though. Like 2 A-rolls bucking. Like the white girl all flushy, red, hair messed up. The black girl braids all messed up. So they ain't got to really like banging. So I'm like, okay, like, you know, it is what it is. You feel me? A little scrap, ain't nothing to it. So we like, what's the issue? The black girl tell you, she need to keep my name out her mouth. So mind y'all, this girl, she on it. She proceeds to, like, she really on it. Like, it was just that simple. She said she ain't like how she was talking to her. Like, I like how she said her name. So she's like, she need to keep my name out her mouth. So I'm asking the other students, because, like, so how it is here, like, would it only been 11 kids? Eventually, some other kids from other classes come into this class and they do, like, a switch. And, like, everybody join into one class. So once everybody joined in, I asked the other people who was there in the bathroom, I'm like, you know, how the fight start? So one little girl is telling me, like, how the fight started. The same little girl that got into the scrap proceeds to say, and you that's telling the story, you need to keep my name out your mouth, too. You better watch yourself before I smack you. So I'm like, hey, yo, like, you know what, like, you too hostile, too much, like, you feel me? Like, yo, like, you already feeling it, bro. Like, you already on it. So you gotta bounce. And mind you, though, so, like, the rest of the class couldn't wait for her to say that to her, because apparently there's some background to it. And they're like, oh, yeah, because she already got her lick back on you before. 8-year-olds talking about getting a lick back. But she like, yeah, she already got her lick back on you before, so you better tread lightly. You better be careful. So I'm like, dang, like, you know, like, all right, like, what's really going on? So apparently they got some background beef from, like, previous recesses, bro. Been getting into it, always been getting into it. One little girl got her cousin to come say something to this girl snuck her, hit her, or whatever. So they proceeded to get into it, and they arguing. In the midst of them arguing, y'all won't believe what I hear these 2 8-year-old girls arguing about. They both arguing about giving an 8-year-old boy oral. Yeah, like, y'all heard me correctly. Oral. So I'm like, huh? So I'm like, hold on. And they're not saying oral, though. So they screaming at each other, saying, I'm like, what? I'm like, whoa. I'm like, absolutely not. And they so loud, screaming at each other about, you know, doing the do. The teacher from across the hall busting to the door, and she like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, what's the issue? And she said she was gonna suck his And the other girl said, and she said she was gonna suck his but this like that, like, he for me, da. They ate. So I'm like, they brains fried, bro. And this is why I really locked in, bro. Like, bro, them people born in the, like, early 90s and late 80s, terrible parenting, bro. Like, it is no line of, like, where kids could be kids, or, like, y'all just too upfront and too personal with everything that y'all allow kids to see and or hear, bro. Because, like, the way them 2 little girls was arguing, bro, they were talking like they were 22. Yet they were 8. So, like, my mind was, like, just blown. So that's a whole situation. So we end up sending them to the office in the dean, and they really ain't care. So I end up calling the girl mama, and the little girl gonna threaten me and say, you don't know what you just did. So I'm like what? Like who? And like I know exactly what I did. Like I need to call your parent because you out of order. And then she basically, then the white girl gets mad and go, oh, you ruined my life. Because I'm calling her people's too. Because y'all in here tweaking, bro. Like y'all in here wigging. So then, mind you, dog that threw the chair earlier, he finally asked to go to the bathroom. So mind you, let me say this too. I done weeded like the 3 bad little girls out. Like I done weeded them out, got them out the class or whatever. Dog that threw the chair, he ended up cooling out throughout the day. So I'm giving him a pass. I let him walk to the bathroom, whatever. But before I tell him like go to the bathroom, I'm like, like all the fellas go to the bathroom. There's only 3 dudes in the class. I'm like, all right, fellas, y'all can just go to the bathroom. I trust y'all because the other 2 dudes been cool all day. I'm like, but don't embarrass me and don't wild out when y'all get to the bathroom. Mind y'all, dog then threw a chair, then got on it, then threatened her. He looks me dead in the face and go, Mr. J, I wouldn't do that. So yeah, bro, that was my day today with the kids, man. So my takeaway, bro, is parents just please do better, bro. Like we absolutely gotta do better, bro, and like monitoring the kids and like what we allow the kids to see, bro. It's getting crazy out here.
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective, man. I got a little worried there for a second. I couldn't even find my camera. Y'all wouldn't be able to hear me. One in the chat if y'all can hear me okay for those that are there. Shout out to my boy Aquarius Helix starting the live off right with a 20 ball. Appreciate the love, appreciate the support because, man, what I have for y'all today is special. You know, I've been really on I've been really on a course to truly expand my offering, and this is one of those particular moments within my spiritual development where I'm able to do that. And so I don't feel rushed, I don't feel under pressure. And I have, one would say, a lot of information to share in reference to the full moon. Because, this is just really one of the spaces and places where I just get to be myself. So these are going to be, what Spirit told me earlier, overshares, where we get into the nitty gritty, into the nitty gritty of the information and leave no rock unturned. So if you would like a basic surface mundane astrology, there's literally thousands of places, and we will even touch on that within the build, but we're not just going to fixate on the material world. This demonstration or presentation or video, however you choose to view it, teaching is going to be from the cosmos all the way down. And the messages that I have to relay will help you so much so. And so maybe you have to listen for 3 hours, right? And a lot of this is going to play into the last video where we were talking about Andromeda. So maybe you will have to watch that new moon video where we were discussing that particular energy, or maybe it was the last full moon. I think it was the last full moon where we touched on Andromeda. But it's all relative because it's all a part of this area of the sky that most astrologers do not talk about it. Yesterday, I was making some capsules and I wanted to like find videos online about the subject, and it wasn't any. You understand? Like when you YouTube search Cassieopeia, the Queen of Ethiopia, right? The Queen of Ethiopia, man, I got a message today. I got a message today. And you wonder why people don't discuss these particular principles and concepts. So, first things first, I'm going to start. It's going to be a circular build, right? So, I'm going to end here. And these are like critical aspects of the conversation. To whereas when we are truly understanding spiritual development, we understand what's taking place and why we must do it. So, in reference to niggas, first things first, we not going to meditate. So, in reference to Buddhism, in reference to Vedic and Vedic astrology, the understanding of astrology is found within the contemplation of the cosmos, and then combine that contemplation with meditation. So whereas this is our first level of understanding in the human race. So what has kind of taken the place of the meditative point of view of the human is the vehicle, right? The car. So if you imagine life before the car, it took people longer to get from place to place. The same 40-minute drive would have took you all day if you was on a horse or if you was walking. You know, if you wanted to go from Detroit to Ann Arbor, it would probably be a 2-day trip on foot. It's a 40-minute drive. So what humans are consumed with is the vehicle. One's in the chat if you live somewhere where you see a lot of vehicles, just so we can have a general baseline with the conversation. I'll continue to do this throughout the build just to make sure that we're on the same page. Because if we could bear witness to being on the same page for 2-3 hours of understanding cosmology, then we are doing the work, right? You are understanding things that you didn't understand previous to watching this video. And there's thousands of YouTube channels that are trying to promote something, that's trying to sell something, entertain you, but very few, very, very rare will people try to teach you and try to explain things to you. So I can almost guarantee, unless you living out in the boondocks or you living off the grid, that you see vehicles. In the more nature you have, the less vehicles you have. So what do the people do in a place where there are no vehicles? They simply can observe and adapt and understand things at a different level, because they don't have they're not even trying to explore and see the world in the way that the modern person is. So the ways for which we are to understand spirituality and cosmology is through the vehicle. The vehicle is the Merkaba. It is the divine chariot. It is your spiritual energy field. It is originating from the Hebrew word chariot, which is often described in the biblical vision of Ezekiel. In spiritual teachings, it is often represented as a star tetrahedron that forms a light-based energy field around the human body. This energy field is used in meditation to connect with the spiritual and physical self. So, in order for us to understand the cosmology and understand who we are, we have to understand this first. We do have a vehicle that is found in the meditation, but the meditation is found in the practice. If you don't practice, and this is specifically me talking to niggas. Niggas is not going to practice meditation. They're gonna do a lot of different things. They're gonna join a dance class. They're gonna go to a puff and paint. They're gonna go to trap yoga. They're gonna go to an all-night party. But very rare do you see niggas say, man, I practice daily. I practice and my practice yields me nothing. But I practice daily. I die to the world daily. Corinthians 15:31. Another key concept, once again, I'm saying that this is a circular build. I'm going to start the same way that I end, but just as the stars rotate around Polaris, you get to see it from all different angles. So one of the major concepts within this particular paradigm, which we call Earth, and Earth is divided into 7 continents. And within these particular continents, there is the North American continent, with a particular people that does not know their history pre-1492. We don't know what happened, what took place. And one would say that somebody had did it to us. And that could very well be true. But from my perspective, we have forgotten our practices. We have forgotten our Dharma. And that's worse than killing you. When you don't even know who you are, and you don't even know how to access it, to which one would sit upon the throne, the seat of God, or a saint in heaven. So once again, heaven is, let's go to truth unity. Because I want you to understand what heaven is. Heaven is the Christ consciousness, the realm of the divine mind. You have access to heaven right now. You have access to the throne right now, but you have to practice, because practice leads to experience, but practice leads to nothing for a very long time. A throne is a seat occupied by a sovereign, a potentate, or a dignity on earth. So one would wait for somebody to come into your life and offer you these particular positions, or you are eventually going to find it within yourself, because the external on one level is the government, but a deeper external is the cosmos. So if we're all underneath the firmament or the cosmos, to whereas our understanding of the external could also be our understanding of the internal, if we would just allow ourselves to meditate on these particular concepts. Because your short-term externalization is a person giving you a book to read, or giving you a certificate, or giving you a degree, to where you could live on earth and you could particularly get an apartment and have your baby mama cheat on you with your brother and your sister in a wild menage a trois, but it was crazy. And now you at this particular point sad. because your external view is that of the material world. But you can have a deeper and further external view and a deeper and further access because you understand your vehicle and you're willing to practice. So these particular conversations begin to get harder and harder and harder because nobody is trying to break it down to you in a way to where you understand the process of connection. Because most people understand it to be an intelligent pursuit. But really, it is a form of consciousness. It is a form of understanding. So the word throne, and I'm going to remove myself so y'all can see it correctly. We have to talk about it because we have to talk about it and understand. The word throne is connected to the Sanskrit word Dharma, which is statute, which is law. And the reason that we're referencing throne is because Cassieopeia, the constellation that is connected to this full moon. So the full moon is in Aries, but if you look further out into the cosmos, the full moon is also connected to Cassieopeia. Cassieopeia is the goddess who is throned, but she is also the queen of Ethiopia. And we have to understand what Ethiopia means in an ancient sense. Ethiopia, Latin Ethiopia, from Greek Ethiopia, from ethos, see the word Ethiop. From Latin Ethiopians, the word Ethiop means Ethiopian or Negro. Are y'all following? Because Cassieopeia, right, is the queen of Ethiopia. In Greek mythology, Cassieopeia is the queen of Ethiopia, the wife of Cepheus, and the mother of Princess Andromeda. Long supposed and popular etymology to be from athean, to burn, or ops, face, fiery looking, later sunburn. Now let's get into a deeper understanding because people would think that the Ethiopian is only in Africa. But who the Homeric Ethiopians were is a matter of doubt. The poet elsewhere speaks of two divisions of them, one dwelling near the rising, the other near the setting of the sun. What does that mean? I started off saying that in North America, there is a people that do not know their history before 1492. However, if you study the words and you study the science, if you study the cosmos, who we are is very, very clear. So in order for us to get deeper into the science of one is called that one calls astrology, we must really get into it. What is it talking about? Right? Because when we talk about Polaris, which is the North Star, there are 3 constellations that rotate around it that the Persians call royal stars. And those 3 constellations were Cassieopeia, the queen, Cepheus, the king, and Andromeda, the princess. This was the king and the queen and the princess of Ethiopia that rotated around Polaris, the North Star, the true star in reference to navigation. Polaris is the bright star at the tip of Ursa Minor, or the drinking gourd, if you into the slave narratives. So that was one of the most popular, that was one of my first impressions in reference to slave narratives, how they followed the North Star out of slavery. Have y'all ever heard of that? So anyways, both have it in brown visages from their proximity to that luminary, and both leading a blissful existence. Y'all don't even hear, y'all don't even know who you are. And nobody wants to tell you because nobody wants to see far into the cosmos. And then, once again, one will say, how do I access this knowledge? What books do I need to read, hood? What lectures do I need to watch? What rituals do you need to do? I tried the baby oil ritual with honey. It kind of worked. I was in the clinic the next day, but hey, maybe that was the lesson Oshun was trying to teach me. Because living amid a flood of light and as a natural non-committant of a blissful existence, blameless and pure and free from every kind of moral defilement. Y'all don't even know who y'all are. We are talking about the Ethiopians, the sunburnt people that were on the rising sun and the setting sun. What is that talking about? East Africa and North America. Because once again, we having to acquiesce to the fact that people just carried us from Africa by the millions. It's not something that I could just simply acquiesce to. It just doesn't compute and it's been we have too many documents. And ain't there one document that's connecting most of you niggas to Africa unless you literally are from Africa and you know you from Africa. But if you know you not from Africa, just understand you not from Africa and you don't know who you are when you are talking about the Ethiopians. We're not talking about the country Ethiopia. We're talking about an ancient cosmology, an ancient people that existed on the east and the west that were connected to the cosmos. So Cassio, and it is a way to access it. Because our ancestors accessed it. And they didn't access it from no book. Do y'all understand that? One's in the chat if y'all understand that ancient knowledge could have never came from a book because niggas didn't have no books to write. So the knowledge had to come from somewhere. So the knowledge, not so obvious, but obviously came from the cosmos and the understanding of the cosmos and the meditation of the cosmos, to which one had to practice this on a daily basis to grasp it, to understand it. It had to come from within us, but also on the external of it. And it couldn't have been nothing in reference to a book because there wasn't any book. We had to find something much more profound to learn from. And so one could say, well, how is astrology going to teach you? I'm going to explain how astrology can teach every single person without a book. It's just simply in the understanding of who you are as man, woman, and child. So Cassieopeia can refer to the constellation known for its distinctive W and M shape, located in the northern sky, or the mythological queen of Ethiopia, who was punished for her vanity. The constellation is easily visible and contains many interesting deep sky objects. So when we are referencing the W and M shape, we're also referencing the concept of men and women, which it used to be a no-brainer, but in this particular time, men going their own way, women feminist, independent. As long as she got an apartment, she cool. And people don't even understand the concept. Like, we 30 years deep into this craziness where people don't understand that we need to come together and we need to stay together. We can't let drugs, we can't let society, we can't let laziness, we can't let procrastination, we can't let fantasy, we can't let psychosis, we can't let ignorance be the death of us. We have to fight for who we truly are, just to have a good life. Because if you don't, it ain't a point where it's going to happen for you, and it ain't a point where it's going to happen alone. So the rotation of Cassieopeia, the rotation of Cepheus, the rotation of Andromeda around the North Star is showing you a crucial dynamic to overall life. And not even on the basic surfaces, yeah, men and women, but at a deeper level, it's showing you how to actually connect to the spiritual world, to the spiritual dimension. So once again, why are we discussing Cassieopeia? Because as you can see, the full moon at a closer level, this closer constellation is going to be Aries. But once again, if you are willing to go deeper, if you're willing to go farther into the cosmos, if you're willing to go farther and deeper within to yourself, you'll be able to access Cassieopeia. And this is a question of royalty. Do you feel as you are a part of a royal bloodline? Or are you a slave to the system? Are you a non-playable character? And do you want to access your royal dimension? Well, the external will fold into itself for us to get an understanding. So this W that you see in Cassieopeia can also be an M, which is the understanding that the goddess lives within all of us. So we are not discussing the principle of Cepheus. We are not discussing the principle of Andromeda. We are discussing the principle of Cassieopeia, the queen of Ethiopia, the goddess principle, or how to access the vehicle. The vehicle will give you access to all answers. But once again, it can never be an intelligent pursuit because the library got too many books. Barnes and Noble got too many books. There's too many people on the internet. There's too many schools with teachers. You know, the more that it's been put out, the more it's been devalued. Because these, and it cannot even be through oral transmission. Because people will tell you lies. The only way that you can find the truth is within yourself. And the only way you can access it is through practice. Practice makes perfect. So really, this is kind of like a screen share that I recorded. So I screen shared this from Star Walk, and I'm literally just showing you the different constellations that exist that nobody wants to talk about, nobody wants to discuss, and nobody wants to understand. Right? So you have Cepheus, which is the king. You have Ursa Minor, and at the tip of Ursa Minor is Polaris. That is the North Star. That is the key navigational system. And when you talk about Moors, Moor, another word for Moor is a navigator. So when it comes to Polaris, that's kind of like a key star in understanding navigation. But to build any significant empire, to build any advanced civilization, it has to be within this divine royal principle of man, woman, and child. And really developing your child to really be royal. And you, the way that you help your child the most is by being a living example of royalty. And they say that these particular beings have been punished. And I would have to agree, punished in a way that this science is just not regular. Our understanding of the cosmos is just not regular. So when we are not even living our lives based upon moon cycles, when you get pregnant based upon moon cycles, and then when you actually get pregnant, it's gonna be a 9-month moon cycle. Like and people don't really set intentions during a new moon. People don't understand what the full moon represents because we get caught up in this particular system. And in this particular system, people are for sure complaining. Damn, why we don't got this? Why we don't got that? They taking this away from us. And getting caught up in that particular rhetoric is going to have you in a particular position where you're like living it. But within this conversation, I want to give you access to the throne, give you access to the vehicle so you can tap into your royal bloodline. Because you can literally, it's mind control. Oh, they taking our stamps away. Oh, they raising the taxes. Oh, they raising the prices of everything. People is poor. People is struggling. You can start absorbing that into your everyday life. I heard somebody say, Black women are the least desirable. When I came into the spiritual community, you know what we used to say about Black women? The Black woman is God. Damn, you know, in 15 years, that shit switched real fast. So once again, I'm here trying to restore the feeling and the understanding which we can bear witness to, which are called the cosmos. But if you don't pay attention to it, that's one level. Just to see it, it's just like, oh, I'm seeing it. It's Polaris up there. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo, hood. Cassieopeia. Whoop-de-doo. Cepheus. Whoop-de-doo. How can I access it? You access all these dimensions through meditative practices. By connecting to your soul through your Merkaba, which is the vehicle, or the chariot. A chariot is a vehicle. It helps you get from point A to point B. Now, how important is a vehicle in your meditation? A vehicle is just important as a vehicle in your day-to-day. This niggas right now mad that they don't got a car. This nigga's pissed off right now as we speak, man. I just need some goddamn wheels, man. So that means in earth, a vehicle is important. In heaven, as God do in earth as is in heaven. I think that's some part of the goddamn Lord's Prayer. You need a vehicle to access the other dimensions. The thing about a Merkaba it can be designed based upon your imagination. So you can access the royalty quick. But what you're not going to do is put together a masterpiece book or read you're reading a 500-page book. You don't even know what the fuck you read. You just reading it to say you fucking read it. One's in the chat. I know you. They may not know you, but I know you. So, once again, let me double back because I am bouncing it around. But once again, we got to get to the truth of it. So we're connecting Cassieopeia. Remove myself. We're connecting Cassieopeia to the Sanskrit Dharma, statute, law, because once again, hold on, let's go to constellation of words. Y'all be like, well, what do a throne got to do with Cassieopeia? I'm about to tell you. I'm about to show you better than I can tell you. I promise you, when I got onto this site and I was about to do my due diligence for this particular video, and I saw the Ethiopian queen, the seated woman, I felt that within my soul, Jack. I just had to pause for a minute. I just had to be grateful for the information that I was about to receive. I knew I was about to get a download, and all I seen was the Ethiopian queen, the seated woman. I was, you know how they say on Twitter, we're seated? I was seated, right? Because the seat is the throne. How many times y'all see throne in this goddamn paragraph? How many times? A lot. And so with Cassieopeia, and this is what we got to begin to understand and understand, at times suspended upside down in the sky in a very undignified position. So within this particular humiliation ritual called Living in America, we may be in undignified positions, but yet and still, we are seated. What do I mean seated? I mean firmly supported from our particular Dharma, our law, our path, our way. If you do not know your personal way, nigga, what in the hell? Who in the hell left the gate open? Whose path are you on? So, once again, it became clear that Dharma is beyond literary expression. You cannot say it. You cannot intelligize it. You cannot vote for it. Happy election day. Dharma is unintelligible because it is a spiritual concept that is based upon you. And when it comes to the benefits of Dharma, Dharma is also alignment. So what does that look like? You know, this nigga was broke back in the day. This nigga ain't never graduated college. He cheated. He ugly. But damn, he seemed to be doing well for himself. How could he be all of these bad things and still do well for himself? Because he's in alignment. He's practicing Dharma. He didn't go to college. He don't got a PhD. But here I am, swamped in debt, and he's financial free because he owns his own business. He sets his own hours. He does what the fuck he wants to do. And he still makes money. I have to clock in every day at 7 o'clock in the morning. If I don't clock in, I may not eat. They might fire my ass. Because I'm replaceable, because everybody want a job now. You know how many applications I put into Indeed? You know how many not now hirings I've put in applications for? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And I think that I'm going to intelligently enter into a dimension where I'm going to benefit myself. And people are considerably breaking down every single day because they don't understand that Dharma is beyond literary expression. And the way that we get here is because Dharma is your throne. And your throne is your Merkaba. Your throne is your vehicle. And the only way that you even stand a chance is if you practice. If you do not practice, you will never experience life outside of the matrix. You will only experience the matrix. So your greatest experience within the particular firmament is like a nigga having a good day in a zoo. Imagine an animal saying, man, I had a good day today. Like 20 people petted me. They fed me some oats, gave me a bath, gave me my antibiotics. Nigga, this day was great. You'll look at that damn goat like, nigga, you crazy. But this is how motherfuckers cope within the material world. They have traded a spiritual vehicle for an actual vehicle, and y'all may not understand what I'm saying. I'm not going backwards with this conversation. Those who have ears is going to have ears. Those can see is going to be able to see, and you have to deprioritize the physical world to be able to simply understand the spiritual world. This particular full moon is in the Bharani Nakshatra. Lord Yama is the guiding principle of this particular nakshatra. Okay, so let's get into it. Lord Yama. Lord Yama is the Hindu god of death. Corinthians 15:31 say what? I face death every day, yes, but just as surely I boast about it. Listen. Paul says, I die daily, as a statement of his constant confrontation with danger and death for the sake of his faith and ministry. So what people are not willing to do is face the danger and death of letting go of the physical world, especially now, especially with the full court press called the government shutdown. Because once you begin to understand that we are living in a little season, and you start to see these niggas talking about the facts on why they can't. This nigga Trump said it's illegal. I don't know how we can legally do it. Meaning that we legally gotta let these motherfuckers starve and not eat. Think about how crazy that is. It's only not crazy when you understand that they are in control of the devil, of a demonic force. And you have to see the devil to begin to see God. You don't see God and then see the devil, and because you don't even understand. It's like, you ever spoiled a kid? You ever seen a spoiled kid versus a kid who was left a little hungry? Okay, so once again, if you spoil a kid, you're not going to have a strong, righteous boy growing up. He's going to be crying and whining well into his 40s. And only his wife is sitting there like, nigga, what the fuck is wrong with you? What you want from me? You a man. Go figure it out for yourself. Go do something, nigga. Why are you sitting up under me watching Love and Hip Hop? Don't you want to like go into your tool shed or something, nigga? Don't you want to work on your purpose, nigga? See, y'all don't understand it until you in a relationship. It's things about you that you need to kill daily. We talking real metaphysical shit. I'm not going backwards. What you mean? You mean I gotta? You mean I can't be the same person I was ever since I was 16? You mean I can't throw temper tantrums, hood? You mean I can't pun it? Listen, what did the Ethiopians do? Are y'all one's in the chat if y'all with me? One's in the chat if y'all with me. The Ethiopians, right, speaks of two divisions of them, one dwelling near the rising, the other near the setting of the sun. That means the east and the west, for those who don't, get into the poetic understandings of things. Both having embrowned visages, meaning dark skin, from their proximity to that luminary, meaning their closeness to the sun, and both leading a blissful existence. What I'm saying is, you need to kill every part of you that is not in reference to this particular blissful existence. Because once again, y'all think that this shit is talking about the actual sun in the sky. That's the point of it. Because living amid a flood of light, oh shit, that ain't talking about the sun. It's talking about the divine spark. It is talking about all of the cosmos. The sun is just a minor star. We talking about when you start to get into the study of these stars, huge, just flooding your whole entire existence with light. And our understanding of it led to a blissful experience, a natural commitment of a blissful existence, blameless and pure and free from every kind of moral defilement. So you're wanting to carry that into your understanding of your divinity is not going to work. So what do you begin to do? Well, it's simple. You die to it. What does this look like in real life? You meditate upon it. Every time I talk about the Ethiopians, people, the views drop. So we're dealing with two concepts that are connected. So the Ethiopians are royal. And they're royal because they understood Dharma. But Dharma is beyond literary expression. So you're either going to have a Buddha or a master, or you're going to learn it within yourself how to meditate. Because meditation requires practice. And there is no way around practice. Your ego, which is in control within this particular dimension in 2025, because it is a 9-year, and it is fighting. It is fighting. But we are entering into 2026, which is a 1 year, and it is going to be the end of Satan's little season. So it's better, I celebrate my New Year's around November. For some reason, whatever I'm going to do in 2026, I lock into it now. So once the new year comes, I'm already in that mode. I'm not waiting until January 1st to stop eating Twinkies. So understanding these particular shifts that's going to happen, yes, it gets darker before it becomes light. So a 9-year is going to be a lot tougher than a 1 year. But how do you weather the storm? You weather the storm perfectly through Dharma. And so we're talking about Cassieopeia, which is a constellation, but within the Vedic Sanskrit, which is Dharma, they dignified it through Mahakasyapa. Kasyapa, which is the same word, y'all. It is the same understanding, but it's taught a little differently. Okay? So, and you can read all of this if you just Google Cassieopeia constellation of words. It's laying it out. Boom, 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 boom. I'm just like here, like, okay, this is what I needed right here. Okay, so Mahakasyapa is dignified as the principal disciple of Buddha. And so the story goes in the sunflower story, Buddha was getting old of age. And he needed somebody that was going to take the legacy of Buddhism to the people and, be more of, take over the reins, basically. So he got all of his disciples around him and he threw up a flower. And Mahakasyapa smiled. And Buddha said, "You the leader. You the one that's going to take over." And everybody was looking around like, what the fuck just happened? Because Mahakasyapa, he understood it at a deep level. And one of these ways that you understand it is through the modality of smiling, the modality of happiness. Because you might go through a 9-year and you go through this, you go through that, you go through this and that, and now you feeling like you got a perfect reason to frown. And what did I tell niggas at the beginning of this particular series? I said, we gonna have to always reflect on that Tupac song. There's gonna be some shit that you gonna see that's gonna make it hard for you to smile in the future. But through all of it, you gotta maintain that smile. So the smile or the happiness or the laughter is you understanding the whole entire cosmos, which is playing a joke upon itself. And once you get the joke, you kind of tapped in and you understand it. That's why the tricksters and the comedians have a significant role in our understanding of spiritual development, i.e. Cat Williams. He broke the whole internet down through the mode of comedy. And one would sit there and try to figure it out. It's very simple. The ways for which you understand these particular realms of thought is through comedy. But if you would notice, through the years 2011 through now, they took out every comedian. They took out every comedian. They canceled every comedian. Remember, they even canceled Dave Chappelle? And why did they cancel Dave Chappelle? Because he was making jokes about a certain segment of people. And they literally, like, you can't, and now when people look at comedy, they say, man, we can't even tell jokes no more. We'll get canceled. So what are they doing? They're shutting off so many people from Divine because people will go to a comedy show to what? To just laugh, right? To get a guttural laugh. What is that? That is Dharma, which goes beyond literary expression. You might get awakened from a comedy special way more than you would be awakened if you did 4 years, 8 years of college. You got a whole bunch of knowledge that you can't transfer it into shit because do it apply to real world affairs? Some do, some don't. And just because you got a degree, you might be working for a goo factory. You know what I'm saying? You're a goddamn chemist and all you doing is making fucking Play-Doh for kids or some shit. Or some goo to stick it on some bolts or some shit, like just some weird shit with your degree. And every day you got to go to the dollar store factory and make junk. Because Dharma goes beyond literary expression. You would never even know it. And so many people was caught up in the American dream. So many people thought if I just went to college, if I just held down a job, But as we awaken, as we come into this 9 year, as we get out of Satan's little season, we start to say, damn, I should have prioritized the family. I should have made better decisions when it came to choosing women. I should have told that hoe no. Right? I should have told that nigga no. Was in the chat. You start looking at shit a little differently as time goes on. So what are we ultimately looking for? We're ultimately looking for Dharma. We're looking for our path. We're looking for our law. And this full moon is giving us access to it. In the ways of it's just simple mathematics. Right? It's just simple mathematics. So the throne, which is to hold firmly or to support, firm, steadfast, strong, stable, which is also Sanskrit for Dharma, a statute or law. Your throne is the law. There's no way around your throne. Right? Let's try to explain it. The word Dharma is related to the word throne. According to the American Heritage Dictionary, Dharma in Hinduism and Buddhism is the principle or law that orders the universe. Also, the body of teachings expounded by the Buddha. Hindus call this constellation Cassieopeia or Cassieopeia, similar to Cassieopeia or Cassieopeia. In Buddhist tradition, there is a monk, Cassieopeia or Cassiopeia, who Zen Buddhists considered their first patriarch and founder of their lineage, of whom Buddha remarked that he alone of all his students had received his teaching of Dharma. So it was only Cassieopeia that received this teaching of Dharma. It should thereafter be known as Mahakasyapa. And the Buddha said, I have true Dharma and I transmit my Dharma to Mahakasyapa. So one is saying, what do I need to do for my life? For my life. How do I establish royalty in my life? One can access it through this particular full moon portal. And I'm just reading y'all basic fundamentals of the cosmology. And this is what I'll continue to do because I feel like I've done everything in reference to just dealing with the basics of astrology. So now I just want to get into the fixed stars, and I want to, and this shit is like, okay, this is what I want to do. So let us reiterate. Ethiopia, which is Latin, Ethiops, which means Ethiopian or Negro. We went from color, Negro, Black, African American. Now we FBA, sexy soul lines. But before that, we was Ethiopian. Because there was a Ethiopian where the sun set, west, and where the sun rises, east. So we known to be Negroes in this country. From the Greek ethos, long supposed and popular etymology from athen, to burn the face. Later, sunburn. Right? One's in the chat, who is not under the sun trying to get a tan? Who the Homeric Ethiopians were is a matter of doubt. One dwelled near the rising, the other near the setting sun, and having embrowned visages from their proximity to that luminary, and both leading a blissful existence, because living amid a flood of light as a natural commencement of a blissful existence made you blameless and pure and free from any evil or moral defilements. So now let's get deeper. Don't be like, that's what she said, hood. That's what she said, hood. So we got Ethiopian is the Negro. But Ethiopia is connected to the word ether. The upper regions of space. The upper pure bright air sky firmament. Firmament is the throne. So whereas the Ethiopians are also the Ethiopians. So why did they live this blissful existence? Because they were able to live within Dharma, within statute, within law. Where did this statute and law come from? It came from the ethers. That's why it's beyond literary expression. That's why you're not going to be able to find it in your books. You can keep getting readings. You can keep taking classes. You're not going to never going to get it, 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 never going to get it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why? Because we are understanding the concept of ether, which is taken from the word aething, to burn, to shine. Once again, when you look at this word aething, to burn, to shine, what do you get from Ethiop? The word aething, to burn, to shine. Okay. So the ether is going to burn you, it is going to shine you, and it's also going to purify you. It is pure. It is the pure air. It is also the particular energy that connects molecules. Because when you look at atoms, when you look at electrons, protons, and neutrons, and things of that nature, is nothing that says that contains it or that connects it. It's all like operating from a particular dimension of a remote control of something like that. The ancients understand this particular energy as ether, but since ether cannot be measured, scientists does not talk about it. So once you remove ether, you remove the aethon, you remove the Ethiopians. Now, we don't know who we are. We sitting around here calling ourselves Negro, Black, Color, Slaves, ADOS, FBA, because we don't know our function. We don't know our place within this particular earth, in this particular cosmos. We was once kings and queens, nigga. And this shit didn't come from nobody granting it to us. We understood it through Dharma. But Dharma goes beyond literary expression. The way for which me, you, my mama, my auntie, my wife, my kids, if they do not do the practice, if they do not meditate, they will not access the vehicle to get the knowledge necessary to burn, to shine. You're not going to meditate. You're going to work that job. You're going to get that money. You're going to scroll. You're going to watch TV. You're going to be busy. You're going to get a second job. Because your problem is you need more money. You're not thinking I need more ether. I need more ability to connect to these other realms. Because we are the ether people. In ancient cosmology, the element that filled all space beyond the sphere of the moon, constituting the substance of the stars and planets, conceived of as a pure form of fire or air, or as a fifth element, right? It was the scientific word for an assumed frame of references for forces in the universe, perhaps without material properties. So if all you know and all you care about is the material world, the things that I'm saying is not even going to matter to you because you only concerned with the material world. And when you want to talk about the ancient cosmology or the deeper understandings, you don't think that you have access to it because your frame of reference is material. Do y'all understand what I'm saying right now? Or is it just some crazy shit? After the theory of relativity won acceptance, but before it gave rise to the colloquial use of ether for quote unquote the radio. So we're talking about transmitting energy to and fro from you to the cosmos and getting there back and forth because you are a non-physical entity. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. So getting closer and breaking it down from a more mundane point of view, we have the full moon, which will take place in the sign of Aries, while the sun will be in the claws of Scorpio in the energy of Libra. So, like I stated earlier, this full moon is going to be in the Bharani Nakshatra. The deity over the Bharani Nakshatra is the god or the Lord Yama, which is the god of death. But death is just the part necessary to kill the parts of the ego. A sub entity that is connected to this nakshatra is that of Kali, where Kali is not this weird evil demon, but she has a purpose to kill your ego. Because your ego is not needed. Your ego is concerned with survival in the material world. This all it knows. But you are a cosmic being and you have connection to those cosmos through your ability to practice. Your spiritual meditative practice. This is it is no and I'm gonna go through some quotes to help you get closer to your soul, to help you get closer to these cosmos at the end of this video. But at the same time, right, I don't want you to think of it as a struggle. It is who you are, right? And who you are is like, did you have to read a certain book to have 10 fingers? Or did you just naturally get it? So your hands and fingers can do so much more for you, and you never had to use a book to read them. So when we talk about your spiritual abilities, it works in that same fashion. So it is ruled by Venus, presided over by Lord Yama. It signifies a powerful period of cosmic energy focused on introspection and consequence, right? Because in reference to us not practicing as Black people, the reason that Black people do not practice is the reason that we suffer the consequences that we do suffer. For which, if we had a national, the same way we had cookouts with family reunions, we had meditative practices the same way as we went to church. One's in the chat, you ever went to church with your grandma when you was a kid? Imagine if we replaced that with meditative practice to exhibit particular experience, which that experience is connection. The goal of all human life is to wake up outside of the matrix, because the matrix is a prison. The matrix is a zoo. It's people that exist within this matrix that have it all set up for them. And you got $10 in your bank account. And you got to figure out how to get some money in your bank account. See, it's a game. You waking up playing a game. That bank account is your high score. And it's NPCs in the game. And how do you know an NPC in a video game? The way you know an NPC in a video game is by their job. Ones in the chat, y'all ever played an NPC? Or an RPG? A RPG got a non-playable character, a role-playing game, have a non-playable character in it, and it's usually when you go into a store or you see them out on the streets, and then they trying to sell you something or tell you something, right? But you can't actually build with them. They don't have an actual direction in their life. And there's so many people like that. Now, if you're not a non-playable character, it's imperative that you introspect and connect to your divine purpose. Because playing the game is a game that you didn't create. So and the moon is going to be in perigee, meaning it's going to be very close to the earth. This takes place on Wednesday, right? And this is peak lunar energy. This is a time where your new moon intention comes into fruition. This is a time where we're starting to move into shift into 2026 energy. Why? Because this is the first, the moon is in Aries, sidereally speaking. So the moon being in Aries, sidereally speaking, this is the beginning of the year. Because we don't follow the sun sign calendar. We follow the moon signs from a sidereal perspective because that is reality. They teach us astrology in a way that's not even based into reality. And y'all don't find that suspicious? So what does this full moon represent? It represents a time of release of this whole entire year and moving into a whole 1 year energy. This 1 year energy is new beginnings. This new beginning is either connected to your undignified position or your dignified position. You're always going to be on the throne. What is the power? What is the problem with being on the throne and being undignified? You create negative things at a high level because you're still a god. So you create a life where you now maybe y'all just don't fucking feel me right now, and that's perfectly fine. Have you ever been in a particular place where shit just seemed like it's getting worse? And there's nothing that you can do to make shit better. Even though you're trying your damnedest. It's just like shit getting worse and worse and worse and worse. You creating that. Have you ever felt like shit? Things just keep getting better and better and better. Things just, man, I feel so in tune. I feel so aligned. I feel like everything I touch turn to gold. You creating that. The hoes just coming to you. You look sexy today. Damn, Mr. Handsome, I didn't even know you could look this good. You created that. Damn, baby. You doing something to my soul. Damn, you so beautiful. Damn, I just had to stop by and say something to you. You created that. So if we don't follow the moon cycles in perpetuity, like Jewish people follow moon cycles. They set up their whole shit through moon cycles, not because they special, but because it's there for you to follow. So no matter what I do, no matter what I'm going through, no matter how busy I am, I'm creating the time, setting the time to make sure that we can have these conversations in all of its depth, as deep as I can go. Pause. So as I stated earlier, the full moon in Bharani caused us to confront the profound truths about existence, revealing an intricate dance between karma, creation, and destruction. So as we are entering into the end of a cycle, we're also entering into a beginning of a cycle, and this is the time to rejoice. But if you don't rejoice and you don't understand these particular cycles, you enter into a realm of karma. So just like in Corinthians 15:31 says, you die daily, that is a way to get out of karma, to get out of the matrix. So what is the matrix? You everything that you've been for these past 30 years. You everything you've been for these past 21 years, and you're not even allowing yourself to change. That's bringing you to a space of misery. That's bringing you to a space where you can't stand nothing because it's like, damn, I keep going through the same shit. I'm in like one of those movies where the day just keep happening over and over again. God's trying to teach you something in this particular environment. Are you willing to learn? Well, what book do I need to read, Hood? You need to practice meditation. You need to burn you some frankincense, burn you some myrrh, burn you some resins, get you a cauldron, get you some herbs, play some meditation music, and die to the world. Because if you don't die to the world, you'll be like, I'm 40-something years old. I'm 50-something years old. I had another birthday. How was you having a birthday? Was you born or was you reborn? Did you get baptized? Are you a pure spirit? No, you just going out to the club and drinking and having fun? I doubt it. You are under a ritual, my friend. You are aging yourself in a paradigm where you don't even have to age yourself. So every act, thought, and emotion bears a consequence, guiding us toward accountability. Once again, learning how to smile, learning how to be grateful, learning how to be happy in a world where everybody around you is trying to make you feel sad, trying to make you feel a certain type of way. The Bharani symbol is the yoni, which represents a gateway through which both life and death pass, a unified cycle. So when you look up the Bharani Nakshatra, you will see that the symbol of this particular nakshatra is the yoni. So once again, this particular portal is a powerful dimension holder for a woman to possess. It goes beyond words. It goes beyond understanding. And let's talk about it. It goes beyond pleasure. Like when you understand the yoni from a spiritual perspective, you can birth ideas. You can birth situations. You can birth circumstances. You can lead a blissful existence. But is that yoni blissful? You know what I'm saying? Or is it holding on to the past? Is it wanting to only experience pleasure? So when you get home, you can't wait to meditate. You can't wait to masturbate, not meditate. Can't wait to pull out that toy. You can't wait to call that one dude to come have sex with you. But it's not in the confines of Cepheus and Andromeda. He's not a king. He's just beating the walls down. So at this point, you don't understand the portal that you have. It's kind of like completely devalued and debased, which the society, the technology, the apps, the people around you is going to support this concept of death by way of the yoni through the modality of casual sex. But you know, we live in the world and we can't get out of the world. So the fact that we live in the world, we have systems such as purification, such as full moons and Bharani that urge us to shed the self-deception, to shed all unhealthy attachments, and understand this whole paradigm is trying to control you, is all an illusion. You are a free spirit. You are a free soul. You just need to understand your particular path, your particular Dharma. You don't find it through scrolling on the internet. You find it by going within yourself and meditating and practice. I can't stress it enough. Because as you get rid of the old, as you purify the old, only thing that's left is the new. As you die to your ego, when you kill your ego, when you die to the world, when you let it all go, all that's left is the soul. As you immerse yourself in the material world and you dive deep into every single book, every single doctrine, every single ideology, you lose your soul. You're now focused on, and people dick ride and people idolize motherfuckers so easily that they don't even find it within themselves to be who they truly are. So once again, the only way is to kill that ego, and that's why goddesses like Kali exist. So going deeper into the mundane, practical aspects of this full moon, and then tying it back into the spiritual, cosmological points, which is going to be basically some quotes that I'm reading from $100 book on ways to access Dharma. So if you want to, I'm saying follow your path and follow your Dharma, and you're like, I don't know how to do it. Well, we're going to get into it at the end of this particular build. But some mundane principles: desire, discipline, and consequence. Once again, when we look at Cassieopeia, she could be a M or a W, depending on the perspective, depending on her rotation. Within each of these particular domains, everything that she does have a strong consequence. So if you're a spiritual being, it's not like you didn't want to be a big time drug dealer. You couldn't. Was in the chat. It's not like you wanted to sell a little pussy on Backpage. You couldn't. Because the first time you sold some pussy, some weird shit happened. You was like, nope, this ain't for me. You tried to sell a little crack. Some weird shit happened. Nope, this ain't for me. Right? In reference to doing bad, when you're a spiritual being, your consequences are super heavy. So therefore, you strive to do right. And in reference to doing right, are you doing amazing? Because in those contexts, those consequences are always beneficial. The full moon in Bharani challenges us to examine the interplay between our desires and our discipline. So it's a certain way of what I want my life to be, but the ways for which I want my life to be, it takes a long time to get there. Now, if I'm truly committed to my desires, then I'm also willing to be disciplined to get it. And this is really the key, because in times of these particular ages that we're living in, everybody wants it quick and easy. And so it's just desires and desires and desires and desires. There's no discipline. So if there is no discipline, so that means we're eating processed food. That means we're not exercising. That means we're not reading. That means we're not meditating. That means we're fixated and focused on our desires. That means we're working a lot, right? We're getting our money and we're taking that money and we're getting our desires. So when we're understanding money, we're also understanding our desires, and we're also understanding that that's our God. If niggas will wake up every day and go to work, but don't meditate and tap into the God within, it's clear the God that they worship. If you got a friend group, a soul group, and you saying, okay, we're going to do a meditation circle, we should do it every day when we get off work. And they're like, well, no, I don't know if I can do it because I'm going to be busy doing this or I'm going to be busy doing that. Then you'll be put in a position where it's like, y'all not able to build. Y'all not able to do anything. So we're fixating and focusing on our discipline and being around people that are willing to be disciplined with us. And this is how we move into a 1 year. So are you going to, so it is the thing that we want, that we're willing to do every day, that we're willing to look at the results of it in a long-term basis. This is the way that we get anything that we want. But if we don't discipline ourselves to get it, and we're not focused on it for real, then there's basically no way that we're going to get it, because once again, nobody is coming to help you. So what is the desire of your direction? Have your desires led to enslavement or empowerment? Do you find yourself in bad situations, or do you find yourselves in good situations based upon the things that you do? As I stated earlier, one of the symbols of this particular dimension is that of pleasure, that of Pambajira, that of the yoni. And pleasure is pleasure as much as you can be pleasured, right? Sometimes at a certain point, you will have to get over it and let it go. Die to that pleasure and get into a point where you're taking that time to meditate. Because if you're able to experience pleasure, you're also able to experience the other dimension. All right. So the illumination of Yama, which is the Lord of death, the death of the ego, the death of the immature sides of you, the more base sides of you. Like, as I stated earlier, the more you remove the ego, the more the spirit shows up. So if you're willing to get rid of everything that doesn't serve you, moving into this future, that is inviting maturity. And once you begin to let these things go gracefully, and also learning to hold on and access your power, this is a time for deep self reflection and alignment with your higher purpose and your higher conviction. So, some practical, mundane applications to this full moon and Bharani Nakshatra is to ground cosmic energy into your daily lives. So, basically, what I've been saying this whole entire life, there are cosmic energies that exist that we can all bear witness to. We've all seen a drinking board in the sky. We can see it, but what does it mean? So if we're willing to say, well, what does it mean to meditate on these particular goddesses and cosmic, just meditate and practice on a star, imagining a star, or just meditate in darkness and silence. And just the words that I'm saying and the concepts that I'm saying, if you can begin to envision what a star is and practice on channeling that star, that would be a way that you ground cosmic energies into your life. And you can do it because this is who you are. You are an Ethiopian. You are an Ethiopian or a nine ether being, meaning that you have connection to the stars in a way that most people don't. But are you grounded in those cosmic energies? Because if you are grounded in those cosmic energies, you are able to influence the tangible areas demanding mindful engagement with your circumstances. So, what could we begin to expect? As we stated earlier, karmic balance, the things that you do as a spiritual being is going to be exacerbated and exponentially aided. I just made that one up, but you know what I mean, right? Your shit is going to grow super duper fast. Set in revelations. So if you ground yourself in cosmic energies, if you meditate on the Ethiopian queen Cassieopeia, and you practice connecting to her and killing yourself to this world, not worried about how you gonna pay the rent, whatever the case may be, you just meditate on a goddess. And pick a goddess. Meditate on Andromeda. Meditate on Cepheus. Meditate on Perseus. Right? Just meditate on something outside of this particular dimension. Choose a god, choose a spirit, meditate. Expect sudden revelations, right? As we are stated, this is a full moon in Aries, so and it's the ending of a 9-year cycle, and it's the end of a little season where we were following the devil, thinking we was following God. Now we back to following God. You should expect an emotional release, a strong impetus to release emotional or physical clutter, creating a space for progress. So whatever you don't need, you need to let it go. Okay? Purposeful reflection. Being able, I would say, to ritualize this particular energy, as I stated earlier. I have my cauldron. I've been burning my frankincense and just kind of meditating. Like I said, meditate every morning, meditate every day, no matter what you do, because this is the way for which you are going to connect to the divine. And this is from TamikoFisher.com. The Bharani Nakshatra has meanings of quiet gestation, often accompanied by the reveal of situations that have been quietly brewing from some time, which are made known suddenly like a birth, often to the surprise of those who had no idea. So what I would say in reference to this full moon is expect the unexpected, as if the unexpected was bound to happen. So let's deal with the tarot astrology in reference to this particular paradigm. And the concept that I want us to focus in on is the concept of the Queen of Wands, which rules the second deacon of Aries. The card that we're going to be looking at is the Three of Wands and the Queen of Wands. All right. And so my perspective from the Queen of Wands is connected to Pambagira or Pambajira, right? And so how do we connect it to this full moon? Finding your passion and saying all right, so this word is tricky. Find your passion. So when you look up the etymology of the word passion, right, you get the word suffering. So why do you need to find your passion? Because you need to find your suffering. And do you want to just be like, oh, we made passion and love? That's suffering love, right? Oh, we had so much passion between us. You had so much suffering between y'all. What do you want to do with passion once you find it? You got to transmute that energy, right? Transmute that passion, right? It's so powerful to be a divine goddess and people see you energy and you transmute it and use it to connect to your divine source versus feeling attacked or feeling under pressure because of what people say, right? Find your passion, find what you are suffering under. Is you worried about what people are saying? What do you feel is suffering you? What do you feel is oppressing you? Transmute that energy. Because transmuting that energy is another word for saying alchemy or sexual alchemy, right? And you can alchemize these particular energies and use it to connect it to source. So how do you deal with this energy moving forward? What are your personal needs, right? Be clear with what you need personally, because you can get what you need by simply understanding that Dharma goes beyond literary expression or explanation. It is a radio frequency. So everything that you need is based upon how you feel about getting the things that you need. If you know and are in tune with what you personally need, it's already yours. Once again, you're not an African American, you are not a slave. You are a non-ether being, and that means something. So in reference to you not getting what you personally need, you have to take accountability. This is where it's leading you to. And accountability is not a bad thing, nor is not an attack. When you are accountable, you don't know that, for one, you are royal, you are a God. You can imagine things and bring it into your reality. You are extremely lucky. You are extremely blessed. Some of y'all are blessed too. Some of y'all got breath. And finally, the message that I have from the Queen of Wands, Pambajira, is how do you cooperate with others? How can you deepen that connection? And if you have a team of people, how committed are you bringing people together? How committed are you to showing up for them? Or do you just if you ain't doing this, I can't fuck with you, and all these particular paradigms, like moving into this next dimension, we are going to have to learn how to conflict resolve, and we're going to have to learn how to cooperate with others, right? But all of these things are a spiritual modality, and I want to break it down. Like I said, this is a circular build. How I started off is how I'm going to end. So as I showed y'all earlier, the Three of Wands rules the second deacon of Aries, which the full moon is in. And the card that rules the Three of Wands, or the card that rules the second deacon of Aries, is the Three of Wands. And so I'm going to read this write-up, and then I'm going to get into the last 2 slides of this build, and I'm going to bring it all and connect it all. As Carl Jung stated, the image of the perfect male is in every woman's unconscious, as is the idea of the perfect woman in every man's unconsciousness. When they match their inner mate with their outer mate, we have what many people call their soulmate. However, more often, somewhere along the journey of a hot romantic love, he or she does does something that doesn't correlate with that perfect image, which is often why relations start hot but soon run cold and the search goes on. However, this card is about the fire element or ether, which is a sexual power. Remember, Ethiopians or Athen means to burn, right? Which is a sexual power. God is sex. And God is sex is a hard one to get through the heads of those who have profaned the act. Fecund and fertility are the acts of creation. Spirit is fire, and those fiery spirit are noted for their sexual appetites. Fire drives impulses, and this lady is displaying impulsive sexuality, which fits this card exactly. So let's get into the Merkaba, or the vehicle of connecting to Cassiopeia, Cepheus, and Andromeda. So let's first start off with the Star of David, which are 2 triangles that represent the union of masculine and feminine energies, a concept found in many cultures. Traditionally, an upward triangle pointed or an upward triangle associated with the masculine energy like fire, and the downward pointing triangle with the feminine energy like water. And also remember, Cassiopeia is a M star that could also be a W star, meaning it could be pointing upward and it could also be pointing downward. So upward would be like fire. We have the 3 of Wands, but we also have ether, which is to burn. But we also have the throne, which is Cassiopeia, the seated woman, which is like water, which is a pure essence or a pure air. Together, they symbolize harmony, balance, and the connection between the spiritual and physical realms, or heaven and earth. Heaven is your divine mind, earth is your reality. When you combine your earth, your reality, with your divine mind, not your monkey brain, when you connect your cosmic mind with your reality, you are able to symbolize and understand the Star of David. Well, that is a two-dimensional shape. When we look at the Merkaba, which is a 3-dimensional 32 pointed star, like a shape formed by 2 interlocking tetrahedrons, which is a 3D version of the 2-dimensional Star of David. So what I'm saying is, the ways for which we are to understand sex is the same way we are understanding our ways of connecting to our soul. It is the union of masculine and feminine energy. Now, you can do this within your relationship or you can do this within yourself, but anybody can do this. And this is the way that we meditate in form of a blissful experience. And meditation, it is an activation of our sexual energy. And it is the oneness with ourselves. This is the practice which leads to the experience, which leads to the spiritual downloads. While the Star of David is a symbol of unity and national identity, the Merkaba, in its spiritual context, is a meditative tool used to create a spiritual energy field for balance and transcendence. The name Merkaba is the Hebrew word for chariot, and in the mystical Jewish tradition, it refers to a heavenly chariot or throne vision as described by the prophet Ezekiel. The main point that I want to focus on is that the Merkaba is a meditative tool. And so, finally, in reference to the full moon in Cassieopeia, we want to discuss a book called The Treasury of the True Dharma Eye. Now, this book is about $100 on the market, and I got a few quotes that I want to share from it because, once again, the patriarch of Buddhism is named Mahakasyapa, and that is the same as the constellation Cassieopeia, is just from a Sanskrit perspective. And the reason that I want to talk about this is because I want to assist those in simply trying to understand how to access this Merkaba, or how to access this portal or vehicle which is found within you. So basically, within this book is really just discussing the birth of Buddhism and how it was transmuted. And it's I can understand why it's $100 because it's some knowledge in here. And I probably wrote down like 7 quotes, but I could have wrote so much more. That's why I'm just kind of like putting y'all onto it. If y'all want, I know I'm saying not reading books, but at the same time, you're gonna have to read books. But in order to get closer to yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you know what I'm saying? If you know that you want to be a pirate, then get books on being a pirate. If you know you want to be a nail tech, get books on being a nail tech. I'm not saying books are bad, but I'm saying that the Dharma is beyond literary expression, right? You cannot begin to understand your path through the modality of expression. And in the authentic transmission of our religion, it is said that this Buddha Dharma, which has been authentically and directly transmitted one to one, is supreme among the supreme. After initial meeting with the counselor, we never again need to burn incense, to do prostrations, to recite Buddha's name, to practice confession, or to read sutras. We just sit and get the state that is free of body and mind. Okay? And that is the authentic transmission. You need to just sit and get to that state that is free of body and mind. You need to die to the world and come alive to your spirit. All right? These balanced and right states of realization also work the other way, following paths of intimate and mystical cooperation so that this person who sits in a zazen steadfastly gets free of body and mind, cuts away miscellaneous impure views and thoughts accumulated from the past, and thus experiences and understandings the natural and pure Buddha Dharma, right? So the one who sits steadfastly gets free of the body and mind and cuts away the miscellaneous impure views and thoughts accumulated from the past. This is suffering and this is desiring. Once you have to get rid of it to get to a natural and pure Buddha Dharma state. And we are taking all of this from the treasury of the true Dharma. All right. I say, if you now think that the samadhi of the Buddhas of the supreme and great Dharma is idle, sitting without doing anything, you are a person who insults the great vehicle, right? Because people think, all right, I'm gonna just sit here and do nothing for 30 minutes, and once this 30 minutes is up, no, you have to be free of the body and the mind, and that takes work. That takes the focus of, once again, imagining the Merkaba, which is a meditative tool. You're in the middle of the Merkaba, and now you're on a spaceship going to any constellation. And here they are talking about aliens coming to Earth. You the damn alien, you just not gotten into your rocket ship yet. Soon as you start meditating and going outside of your body, soon they're gonna be saying, "Oh, we seen rocket ships. We done got in contact with another ancient civilization." It's your damn ass doing meditation. Ones in the chat. It is pitiful that your eyes are not yet open, and your mind remains in a drunken stupor. It is pitiful that your eyes are not yet open and your mind remains in a drunken stupor. What are they talking about? They're talking about when we are in this material world, focused on this material world, and we are not into our cosmic intelligence. When your eyes are not open, they're not talking about your two eyes to see the physical world. It's talking about your inner eyes, your Merkaba, your ability to see the cosmos. This is who you are, guys. I'm not talking about no foreign weird shit. I'm literally talking about who you are. Niggas know, bro. Since 1492, they have been lying to niggas. They have been trying to kill niggas. They have been trying to make niggas Christians, Muslims, everything but who they are. And in 2025, we don't know. So I'm telling you who you are, and it's hard for a motherfucker to be like, well, how you know? Because in the general, the state of the Buddhas is unthinkable. Intelligence cannot reach it. In general, the state of the Buddhas is unthinkable. Intelligence cannot reach it. What is niggas trying to be in this world? They trying to be intelligent. They trying to be smart. They trying to have a following. They want people that can agree with them. Nobody is agree. I know for a fact, niggas do not know what the fuck I'm talking about right now. I know you don't. But at the same time, a nigga cannot tell me that I'm lying about shit that I'm saying. Niggas say, well, I don't know what the fuck could be talking about, but he not lying. I can't say that he lying, and I can't say he making up shit, because for the past 2 hours, he just been showing us shit that's just bear witness truth. I've been screen sharing and screenshotting shit, giving you links and shit, giving you books and shit. It's out here, but nobody's going. I showed you shit from etymology.com. Anybody can go on etymology.com and do the knowledge of Ethiopia and where it comes from and what it means. And everybody can say, well, Ethiopia means a Negro. Who the fuck do they call Negroes? You think they call Africans Negroes? I mean, I'm sure they have and they will, but come on now. We are the Negroes. We are the Ethiopians. But it doesn't stop there, guys. We are the Ethiopians. Ethi and ether are the same word. So the ope just means face. Our face is burnt, sunburned, burnt by the sun. And the sun is not the outer sun, it is the inner sun. Because we're talking about ether. We're talking about the supreme element that connects it all. We are that. Nobody is telling you this shit. They literally will have CIA niggas like Tariq Nasheed say that you are a descendant of a slave. So you can get reparations that you can't get. Because you're not a descendant of a slave. You are a descendant of a star. And that's real. And that star is easily accessed on heaven, on earth, right now. It is a state of consciousness. It is a state of mind. How much less could disbelief or inferior wisdom know the state? So since you don't believe what is actual bear witness truth in words that you say all the time, I'm a non-ether being, sister, but you don't actually believe it and understand what is being stated. You've heard that we are ether beings before, but what does it mean? It means you are connected to star systems much greater than this one. And you have access to those star systems through the modality of ether. The same way as you can call somebody in Great Britain right now and y'all be talking back and forth, the same way we online right now. And we can engage with one another. I can say one in the chat and y'all can put one in the chat, because guess what? Space and time does not disconnect us from each other in real life. Why do you think it disconnects you from the stars? You think the cell phone is a greater technology than you? When it got parts made from the earth, when you got parts made from the earth, but you got also parts made from the cosmos. How you think you made yourself into this being? And we don't give a fuck about our body. Here we go. Where the processed food at? Where the fast food at? Where the grocery store meat at? That been like Tyson. We eat food from Tyson. We eat food from Smithfield. Y'all don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Y'all don't even investigate the chickification of pork and treat pigs like chickens. Got them in these sheds and shit. The whole state of Iowa smell like pig shit, and we don't care. I like eating bacon with my breakfast. Okay. How much less could disbelief or inferior wisdom know the state of Buddhists? Know the state of divine connection. You wouldn't even attempt or even believe that you can connect to something much greater in this moment, because you have accumulated thoughts and feelings of the past. Only people of great makings in the right belief can enter into it. For people of disbelief, even if taught, it is difficult to receive the teaching. If you don't believe in your ability to be royal based upon basic math of you not knowing who you are, why don't you know who you are? I'm going to tell you why you don't know who you are, because you are royal. But it's fine. I can tell you, you don't believe it. You're not going to receive it. Fine. But for those who have ears and for those who have eyes, say, I am royal. Well, how do I access the royalty? Through my meditation. Or you go and buy a course from a bitch and give her $3,000 to yap to you, give you some worksheets, and what? You ain't in no better position than you was before you got into that shit. That shit has helped you do nothing unless you meditate, which costs you nothing. Meditation is free, nigga. It don't cost you nothing. You don't need to do nothing. But guess what? I'm talking to niggas. And what is niggas not going to do? Meditate. And remember when I said Buddha had all of the people around him and he was ministering to them and he had everybody around him? Buddha said, it's people up here that they going to withdraw. And that's also fine. As a general rule, when the right belief emerges in our mind, we should do training and learn in practice. So if you are royal, if you are God, and that thought emerges in your mind, You ain't just going to be like, all right, I'm a god, I'm a princess, I'm a goddess. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change my Instagram name to Goddess69 because I'm a goddess that likes 69. It ain't going to work like that. If the right belief emerges in our mind, we should do training and learn and practice. Where am I getting these quotes from? The book that's right on the screen. It's like, it might be $60 used on Amazon. I seen it for $100. I'm reading these quotes. I'm saying it's worth $100. I'm just saying it's worth it, right? From these quotes. And I could have kept going, but I'm like, I don't want to overshare. I'm already oversharing, but I'm not going to overshare. So stop this doubting and delusion. Following the teaching of a true master, attain and experience the Buddha's samadhi of receiving and using the self by sitting and pursuing the truth. The Venerable Mahakasyapa, transmitting the right Dharma eye treasury and the fine mind of nirvana, the supreme and great method only to him. The ceremony was witnessed directly by beings among the celestial throne, which are present in the world above, so it must never be doubted. So if we can bear witness to Cassie, as evil as white people is, they didn't call her the Queen of Europe. They didn't call her the Queen of Scotland. They could have changed the name to Cassieopeia, the Queen of Rome, y'all. This is Greek mythology. She could be the Queen of Greece. She could be the Queen of the Caucasus Mountains, y'all. But her name to this day is Cassieopeia, the Queen of Ethiopia. Cepheus, the King of Ethiopia. Andromeda, the Princess of Ethiopia. I'm saying it with my soul, nigga. You don't understand. They took everything away from us, but yet and still, they are present in the word above, and it must never be doubted. It is a universal rule that those celestial beings will guard and maintain the Buddha Dharma eternally. Their efforts have never faded. And just remember that this transmission is the whole truth of the Buddha's Dharma. Nothing can be compared with it. You ain't gonna never hear no shit like this. I guarantee you. Because niggas is literally about to tell you that the full moon is in Taurus, nigga. It ain't no cosmological reference for that actual lie. And they gonna say it's all about your money, and they gonna get you with some pure mumbo jumbo, and they've been doing this shit for years. And what? Because cosmology, nothing can be compared to cosmology because we can bear witness to cosmology. And as deep as you want to go with it, is the deep as you is going to open up to you when you're ready. So once again, it's literal thousands of full moon and Taurus videos on the internet. They're not going to awaken. They're not going to assist you. They might rub your ass and say, "Boy, that ass is getting fat, girl." Full moon and Taurus, Ashe. You losing weight and that ass is getting fat. How you doing that, girl? Full moon and Taurus, Ashe, girl. And once again, the Dharma is beyond literary expression, so I can't knock nothing. I'm gonna just give it to you how I'm giving it to you, though. Last quote: practice now is also practice in the state of experience. Therefore, a beginner's pursuit of the truth is just the whole body of the original state of experience. I'm gonna say that again. Practice now is also practice in the state of experience or gnosis or divine knowledge. If you are attempting through meditation, what are niggas going to do? What are niggas going to do? They are not going to meditate. That's one thing I can guarantee about niggas. I've been dealing with, cause there's no questions. There's no we already in a blissful experience if we all meditate. But see, we get into a point, and then we're getting the money, or we're getting the experience, or a miracle happens, and we get caught up in that miracle. We find a nigga, get into a relationship, and then the truth come out, and the miracle is over, and we don't even know what just happened. We're like, damn, what just happened? You got to get back into the practice. We've all been into the space where we've meditated and created miracles. We got caught up in the miracles, and then we get back to a certain place where nothing to show for it. This is why the Buddhists teach in the practical cautions they have handed down to us, not to expect any experience outside of practice. Because once again, what is meditation going to do for me? What do you get out of meditation? Well, I meditated and nothing happened, hood. I meditated and nothing happened, hood. Okay. Not to expect any experience outside of practice. Why? Because practice now is also practice in the state of experience. Therefore, a beginner's pursuit of the truth is just the whole body of the original state of the experience. And the reason may be that practice itself is the directly accessible original state of experience. So the concept of sitting, the concept of meditating, the concept of utilizing your Merkaba to travel the inner realms of experience is your way to connect with the deeper cosmos, to understand who you are outside of this material way of pigeonholing you and boxing you in. Because practice is just experience. The experience is endless, and because experience is practice, the practice has no beginning. So you're never a beginner when you're trying to meditate. You're only understanding who you are. Okay? And this full moon is a full moon to help you, assist you in who you are as we move forward through these other dimensions and deeper understandings of the cosmology. And so, once again, that was my last slide. Just really wanted to just go through all of this shit in a timely manner. I thought this was going to be like a 3-hour build, but it was really 2 hours. So, with all that being said, I hope that you are able to grasp the overall point of this full moon. Simply releasing the ego, allowing yourself to connect to the spirit through the mode of practice, meditation, because practice is experience and experience is practice, and you're not practicing for a specific result. You're practicing for the love of the game. So if you love basketball, you ain't trying to, if you've never been to the NBA, you're not making it to the NBA. You're not going to stop playing basketball because you ain't making it. You just love, you're going to shoot up some shots. You want to play at the gym. You're going to practice. And the practice is the experience if you love it, right? And we're talking about loving ourselves and loving our history and loving our legacy and loving our kids and loving our husband and loving our wives and loving our lives. So we're also talking about sexual energy as a precursor to understanding the power of meditation. So once again, learning how to set up an environment where you love the ways for which you meditating. So that's creating a sacred space in your home. For me, I'm like, my spirit was like, man, you gonna like burning this damn frankincense. And I do. I just love, I got me a whole jar of frankincense cubes. I'll be breaking them in my hand. And I'll just sit here as I'm just like studying or reading or making a beat, and I'll just be burning frankincense, right? As a way for me to just constantly be in a space of offering. Now, that's not going to be what you're going to like to do. You're going to like to do something completely different, but it's up to you to figure out how to practice the various different ways to connect. So, like I said, man, hope y'all able to take from this exactly what I'm trying to put out. so you can get closer to the cosmology and really ground the cosmic energies into your life. And for those of you that see a value in that, please donate to my Cash App, $ Hood Mystic 38. Email me at hoodmystic@gmail.com if you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, any suggestions, any videos, or any topics you want me to research and cover. I love doing shit like that. And also, if you want to support yourself through supporting me, visit my business, whiterabbitsite.com. Check out my blog, hoodmystic.com. With all that being said, hope you guys enjoy this full moon, which takes place Wednesday night. And peace to the tribe, peace to the collective as we move forward within our deeper understanding of the cosmology. I appreciate y'all for riding with me, rocking with me. Before you get out of this video, hit the like button if you haven't already. That is how you help this channel out the most. And we appreciate you for all of your help and all of your assistance as we begin to grow and move forward. So this energy was very helpful to me. So I was hoping that I could transfer that energy to you and you could begin to revitalize your spiritual development and your spiritual approach to life. Because we all got to work and we all got to go through all of this stuff. But I'm feeling that if we reinterpret and recalibrate our spiritual lives, it's going to make it that much more easier. That was the download that I got this morning. I hope y'all were able to receive it and all of its fullness. With all that being said, peace to the tribe, peace to the collective, and I will see y'all all on the